reported to have been killed in an Israeli airstrike.
When will you sanction Israel?
We are not served well.
Albanese sat in front of a group of community leaders of our community before the last election and made a promise. The promise was that this government would recognise the state of Palestine in its first term.
My organisation is Muslim Votes Matter. The purpose of Muslim Votes Matter is to help the community look at politics differently, to understand that we have political power, that we have choices, and to use that political power in a way that's going to get us the best outcome.
So the Muslim vote came out of what happened in the last 14 months, and we felt that we just couldn't sit by and do nothing while the Australian government was enabling a genocide. And the community is incensed that there needed to be action, there needed to be something that needed to be done. You needed to put sanctions on Israel and expel the ambassador and do whatever you could, what was within your power to represent your constituents. And they didn't do that.
And meanwhile, what would be the outcome so far from this motion?
The best outcome that we are looking for is what we call a hung parliament. That means none of the major parties have enough people in there to form government by themselves. They will have to do a deal with the independents and the minor parties. Now, if we've supported the independents and the minor parties, that means they will ask for the things that we want as a community. And that will force whoever wants to be in government to actually do the things that we want to do. That's the best outcome that we can get as a community, a hung parliament.
The community wants clarity around issues that affect them, that affect daily lives, that affect the community. So in terms of making the case for why we can't support Labor, well, how can we support Labor? Labor has committed all of these actions that haven't been about community, haven't represented community. They've stood idly by and enabled who they've enabled, despite the decimation that's been going on. Australia is part of the ICC and yet hasn't fulfilled part of its obligation that it must coming from the ICC. And so there needs to be change, and the community wants change, and the sentiment is there. So how can we not then affect that and move that in that direction where there should be change, where we feel that there is definitely benefit for the community?
The message to the major parties is you will not be able to take us for granted anymore. There is, for decades now, they have ignored us because either they think we will not change our vote or we will not bother voting. We're going to change that this time around. We've got to teach the two main parties that they have to listen to us. That if they don't listen to us, they're going to lose out on the election day, and we're going to make it costly for them to ignore our community and our community's voice from now on.
And what would be your message for our community, and also how you can reach out?
Look, my message for the community is get involved, help where you can help, assist where you can assist, and find out what's going on, because these are happening in the communities. We're getting out to the community, we're speaking to the community, we're holding events. Participate, get involved, read some of our education manuals and participate. And that's really what it's all about. Get involved, because this not only affects local issues, but it affects international issues. So these are the facets that we want the community to get involved. And so there's a lot to do. It can't happen without community. The sentiment is there, but we absolutely need the community help in all of the steps need to be taken to affect that change at the very end.
The main message is the way we've done politics has got us to where we are today, where we've had no ability to influence the government whatsoever on the genocide that's occurring. We can't keep doing things the same way.
Would you be supporting any Muslim candidate or any other non-Muslim candidate?
Absolutely. We've already endorsed 2 candidates. We're supporting and endorsing 2 candidates, in Dr. Ziad Basuni and Dr. Ahmed Auf. And so they're already being endorsed by the Muslim vote. And we look like having potentially another 3 candidates coming forward that will also support and endorse. And those particular seats that they'll be representing are seats that have a high percentage of Muslim voters in those areas. So we think we can make a real difference, especially in these areas, but across Australia as well.
Why should we vote and why should we not vote for a specific party, the Labour Party? I'm running as a candidate in Watson, and Labour Party has been winning that seat since its inception. For the past 20 years, we've had the Honourable Tony Burke. We need to be able to inform the politicians, this is what we like, this is what we don't like. And there's no better way of informing the politicians other than voting. So you inform a politician by changing your vote if you don't like what they're doing, or you give them your vote because you like what they're doing. And I can sense that the community is frustrated by how the ALP, the Australian Labor Party, had been dealing with our community over the past 14, 16 months. Actually, the whole of Australia is unhappy. If you look at the current and the running news polls, the Labour Party is draining votes because of the policies that are obviously not suited to what the community wants, what Australia wants.
What would be the outcome that you need as a community behind this movement?
I think what needs to happen is that the Australian politicians have to be aware that as Muslims, they can no longer, just take us as tokens. That they can't take a tokenistic approach when it comes to issues that matter to Muslims.
I found the event very insightful and eye-opening because it really answered a lot of the common questions that people have. And if you don't vote Labor, Liberal will get it. They're the lesser of two evils. They've been doing things for our community, all of those different types of questions. But overall, the messaging is Labor has been enabling this genocide, and there are a variety of factors in why we shouldn't vote for them. And just because we don't, it doesn't mean that Liberal will win.
Hi, my name's Lara. This is my first one of these. I only just recently joined this week. I'm not Muslim or religious, but I really believe in this cause and definitely found it really, it aligned with my values in terms of aiming for a hung parliament, and I'm pretty sick of the two-party system. So I can see a lot of power in what could happen here. To mobilise and to organise and to work out what the power is in that community so that you can use it to have a voice and to make sure that you're heard.